Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akim. Your brother Ratza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakachodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. 144,000 Bakaya Kodash. That's the holy elect, Baha Rataza, in and around the full moons of the earth. Shalom to the 1/3. Scattered abroad greetings, man. It's a quick one. There's going to be blackout season very soon. Widespread blackouts. It's currently, you had a Nigerian blackout, the total system collapse according to the BBC News headlines. Apparently they've alleviated the system problem right now as we speak. They're putting the lights back on, so to speak. There's a shutdown with the electrical grid. I read here, total system collapse caused widespread power cuts across Nigeria on Thursday. Early in the morning, levels of power generated in Africa's most populous country fell to 0 megawatts. So it was a total shutdown, lights out basically, but it was during the day. So it would have been a hell of a more of a catastrophic event if it happened during the night time, so to speak. You know, when people are trying to get around the city, whatever, towards the evening times, whatever. But it was during the day, early morning. So they managed to fix the problem, so to speak. But this is just a clear example of these system collapses that's going to be happening worldwide, coming into a city near you very soon. You know, especially over there in Babylon the Great, aka America, man. You know, they had that documentary a few years back called American Blackout. You know, on National Geographic channels or the History Channel, one of them channels. The brothers watched it and it was very insightful, man. Very enlightening. At the times, man, if there's an American blackout just within a few hours, you know, people will lose their shit. People will go from civilized to uncivilized real quick and just turn savage, man, for the lack of bread and for the want of substance and supplies. You know, people will go ape shit to feed themselves and their family. So this is just a clear example of, you know, another PSYOP event coming to the shores of America very soon. A total economic collapse, total system collapse. You know, whether it's a cyber war attack, you know, or an electrical grid attack, you know, EMP, electrical magnetic pulse, you know, whether they use a HEMP or high altitude EMP or a normal EMP to just take down the electrical grids for a few hours or even a couple of days. Something's in the works, man. These elites are working on the left-hand side, you know. So this is a ruse for basically chaos and anarchy to, you know, fuel through the streets. So this is the times that we're in, man. You know, scriptures talk about mass famine and death increasing in these latter days, man. So this is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe unto the world and to them and them that dwell therein. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And if there's a blackout, you know, which they show you in that documentary series, American Blackout, people had swords in their hands, and modern day swords the gun, or weapons in general, and they was basically, you know, forced to, you know, basically go around stealing and looting and grabbing what they can to you know, feed themselves and their family. You know, and in the time of disparity, that's what's going to happen. As I said, the people are going to go from civilized to uncivilized real quick. You know, they're going to be, you know, trying to get out of the city, trying to get into cities. Esau going to be setting up quarantine zones. People can't leave the city, shutting off bridges and stuff like nature, you know. Then the patrol's going to be on the streets. The soldiers are patrolling the streets. Martial law, National Guard, whatever you want to call them. The troops are going to be out there, man. You know, in the time of Jacob's trouble. Well, this is when you know, the proper economic collapse happens, and it's not just a drill, you know, or a tryout. This is when Jacob's trouble actually happens. So verse 16, it says, for there shall be a sedition among men, and invading one another. So that's what people are going to be doing. They're going to be invading, you know, mobbing, you know, stealing, robbing from each other, man, to survive. It says, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Yeah, the politicians, them, you know, all these different standing figures in society, the people gonna want their heads on a stick in that day, man. The scriptures tell you that Esau's gonna be as the chase row. So these people, these officials and all that, they're gonna be hunted down, like wild animals in these last days by the peoples, man. By the citizens, so to speak. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. It says, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now Esau is setting up these 15-minute smart cities now, which the word smart is an actual acronym meaning surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting technology. And these smart cities are going to be guarded, man, by troops, National Guard or martial law troops, and they're going to be, you're not going to be able to have access unless you got the charagma, because that's going to be the new way of ID, new form of ID, and new form of buying and selling is by way of that charagma to get access into them smart cities, Internet of Things, the IoT, so to speak, where everything's interlinked and tracked and traced through the your smart devices that's going to be implanted in your right hand or your left hand or in your forehead, man. With the MOT to the B. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because Esau going to be quarantining and shutting off cities and shutting off people from leaving the city. So for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, Jacob's trouble, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, in the midst of a blackout, people are definitely going to be afraid. People are going to be panicking. Men are going to turn into women, man. The scriptures say that. They're going to be, they're going to be lamenting like women. And women, they're going to just be, all over the place, because they're going to be wailing in the streets like banshees looking for a man to protect them in that time, because they know they need a man to protect them. All that feminism, independence thought's going to be out the window once all hell breaks loose, man. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, blackouts, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's a clear example of what happened when you watch that movie or series, the American Blackout, man. They show you what happened. It's basically like the Purge movies, man, that series. People just being erratic, just doing as they want, trying to survive, mercilessness, anarchy, just the erratic behaviors, man. People just doing what they want. It's gonna be purge season for real. That's what's coming, man. Great tribulation. So don't be surprised if certain cities in America experience this very soon. American blackout, like these Nigerians did earlier on today. That was just calm before the storm, so to speak. That was just a trial and error to see how people react and deal with an actual blackout in these third world countries like Nigeria. But when it comes to America, man, people ain't going to be able to deal. People are going to be losing their marbles, so to speak. That's why it says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at that times. Only the men of the Lord, from the apostles and elders, a great millstone on down, and brothers that's teaching the whole truth and nothing but the truth in like manner, they're going to be stable in that time, because the Lord's going to be with them. As I said, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at that time. So anyway, just a quick one, man. Just came across this info, so I thought I'd just do a little, give my little 2 cents on it. And, that's the times we're in, man. Major blackouts, more cyber attacks, psyops. That's why the Lord said, watch as well as pray, man. So, these are telling times. But anyway, give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakachodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.